So you're thinking about getting your own place in Singapore, right? And that three-letter word, BTO, just keeps popping up. It's a huge part of our housing landscape, but man, it can feel like a total maze for first-timers. Well, don't you worry. Today, we're going to break it all down. We're going to give you the roadmap, the A to Z guide to getting your very first home. Let's get right into it. Okay, here's our game plan. We're breaking this BTO journey into 4 simple parts. First up, the starting line. Are you even eligible? Then we'll get into the race, all about applying and balloting. After that, we need the fuel, how you're going to finance your new home. And finally, the finish line, from getting your keys to understanding what you're signing up for long-term.
All right, first up, the starting line. Yeah, I know, you're probably already scrolling through Pinterest for reno ideas. But hold on. Before any of that fun stuff, we've got to make sure you're actually eligible to run this race. This part is absolutely crucial, and there's no way around it.
So, let's ask the big question right away. It's not just about can you get a BTO, but is it the right move for you? Look, there's no doubt a BTO is pretty much the most affordable way to get a brand spanking new home here. But, and this is a big but, there's the waiting game. We're talking 3, maybe 4 years. If you need a place like yesterday, a resale might be your best bet. But if you can afford to wait, the value of a BTO is just incredible. So first, let's see if you even qualify.
Okay, let's look at the main checklist. These are the 4 big boxes you have to tick. First, citizenship. Pretty straightforward. At least one of you has to be a Singapore citizen. Second, age. You got to be at least 21. Singles, you'll have to wait till you're 35. Third is the income ceiling. For a typical 4-room or bigger flat, your household can't be making more than $14,000 a month. And the last one is a biggie, property ownership. You can't own any other property, not here and not overseas. Simple as that.
Now this leads me to something super important, the HFE letter. Seriously, think of this as your golden ticket, your hall pass, your entry into the BTO game. It's a relatively new thing, mandatory since May 2023, and you absolutely cannot apply for a BTO without it. What's so great about it? It basically does all the hard work for you up front. It confirms you're eligible, tells you exactly what grants you can get, and lays out your loan options. All the guesswork? Gone. Just make sure you apply for it about a month before the BTO launch you're eyeing.
Okay, HFE letter in hand? Fantastic. Now you're officially in the race. This next part is where things get exciting and a little nerve-wracking. It's all about getting your application in and then crossing your fingers for the computerized ballot. The goal? To snag that precious queue number. So what's the timeline look like? It's actually pretty clear-cut. Once you've got that HFE letter, you wait for a BTO launch. When it happens, you've got a 1-week window to submit your application online. And hey, no need to rush and crash the servers on day 1. It is not a first-come, first-served thing. After that, it's the waiting game. About 2 months later, the ballot results are out. If you get a good number, you'll be invited to book your flat, and the final step in this stage is signing the agreement for lease.
You know, everyone talks about the BTO ballot like it's pure 4D or Toto, just random luck. And yeah, it's a computerized lottery, but here's the secret. It's a game of chance where you can absolutely stack the odds in your favor. There are, like, hidden power-ups you can use to give yourself a much better shot. Let's talk about how you can do exactly that.
So, the whole system is built to help first-timers out. Just for being a first-timer, boom, you get 2 ballot chances right off the bat. Double the luck of everyone else. But wait, there's more. If you're a first-timer, married, and have a kid, you get a 3rd chance, a whole extra ticket in the lottery. Then you have these massive schemes, like the Family and Parenthood Priority Scheme, which reserves up to 40% of flats just for families. That's huge. And if you plan to live near your parents, yep, there's a priority scheme for that too. The bottom line is, you need to look into every single one of these and see what you qualify for.
Yes, you did it! You got a queue number. Take a moment, celebrate. Okay, moment's over. Now for the really important part. How in the world are you going to pay for this thing? Let's talk about the fuel for your home-owning engine, the grants and loans that make it all possible.
All right, the biggest weapon in your financial arsenal is the Enhanced CPF Housing Grant. We just call it the EHG. It's a fantastic grant, and the magic of it is that it's tiered. Basically, the less your household earns, the more money you get. Simple as that. We're talking up to a staggering $120,000 if your income is around $1,500. And this isn't cash in your hand. It goes straight into your CPF and directly slashes the price of your flat. It can make a massive, massive difference.
Okay, now we come to the million-dollar question. Literally, HDB loan or bank loan.
This is a huge decision every single BTO buyer has to make. There is no one-size-fits-all answer here, but the two options are very, very different. Let's put them head to head. Let's get right to it. The biggest difference? Down payment. With an HDB loan, you can pay the whole 25% down payment using your CPF. That means potentially zero cash out of your pocket, which is a massive deal. With a bank loan, you have to fork out at least 5% in cash. Cold, hard cash. Next up, interest rates. The HDB loan is super stable. A bank loan? It floats. It changes with the market. So the choice really boils down to this. Do you want stability and less cash up front, or are you willing to risk a fluctuating rate for the chance of paying less in the short term?
2.6%. This number right here is the reason so many people sleep soundly at night with an HDB loan. It's famously stable because it's pegged to our CPF interest rate. What that means for you is predictability. Your monthly payments aren't going to jump up unexpectedly just because the global economy is having a bad day. It gives you this incredible peace of mind when you're planning your finances for the next 20-something years.
You've done it. You've booked the flat, you sorted out the money. We are now at the finish line. Well, almost. Let's talk about this final leg of the journey. What happens from here, from getting your keys all the way to the long-term commitments you're making?
So once you've signed that lease, the waiting period begins. This is when you watch your new home get built from the ground up, which takes about 3 to 4 years. But hey, good news, these waiting times have been coming down recently. Then, the best day arrives, key collection. But wait, before you bring in the contractors and start hacking walls, please remember the defect check. You get 1 whole year where HDB will fix any problems for free. Do not, I repeat, do not skip this step.
Now, a quick but very serious word of warning. Backing out of a BTO is not a small thing. It comes with some painful financial penalties. If you cancel right after booking, you'll lose your option fee, a few $1,000s. But if you cancel after you've signed the lease, you forfeit a whopping 5% of the flat's purchase price. Let me put that in perspective. On a $500,000 flat, that's 25 grand. Gone. So the lesson here is crystal clear. Be 100% sure before you sign on that dotted line.
The moment you get those keys, a countdown begins. It's for something called the Minimum Occupation Period, or MOP. Basically, this is the time HDB requires you to actually live in the flat you just bought. It's not a suggestion, it's a rule. And during this MOP, you can't sell the flat on the open market and you can't go out and buy a private property. It's a core part of the deal when you buy a BTO.
And how long is this commitment? Well, it now depends on the type of flat. For what we call standard flats, which is most of them, the MOP is 5 years. That's been the norm for a while. But for the new plus and prime flats, the ones in really prime locations, that MOP gets doubled to 10 years, a full decade. Why? It's a clear signal that these heavily subsidized flats are meant for people to live in for the long haul, not for a quick flip to make a profit.
Phew, okay, that was a lot. So let's do a super quick recap. Your BTO Journey checklist. Number 1, get that HFE letter done early. Don't wait. 2, learn all the priority schemes and use them to boost your chances. 3, really think hard about the HDB versus bank loan decision. 4, mentally and financially prepare yourself for the wait. And finally, understand the big commitments you're making, especially the MOP and those cancellation fees.
So there you have it. You've got the roadmap, you know the checkpoints, you understand the rules of the road. Look, the BTO journey is absolutely a marathon, not a sprint. It's going to test your patience for sure, but the prize at the end of it all? A home that is truly yours. So now that you're armed with all this knowledge, the real question is, are you ready to take that very first step?